able to introduce to you who I consider the most sophisticated individuals within the real estate industry. And that's our business consultants that you see right here in front of us. Each of these leaders featured embody the range of characteristics featured that make them truly distinctive. As you will see, each selected guest is specialized in problem solving, strategic thinking, and a propensity for collaboration, which is really important in the work that they do. So my name is Teresa Palacios Smith, and I'm Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Home Services of America and HSF Affiliates. And as you already know, my family's originally from Colombia, South America. And every time we get together with friends and family and any Latino family, right, and even in the Indian culture, no matter where you go, the first thing they ask you is, would you like a cup of coffee? So we're taking a coffee break today to enjoy each other and to really learn about the business consultants and the work that they do. So today we are amongst friends. And again, I'm just tickled that they're all able to participate. These women are a team within our organization, and they also serve to collaborate and help the companies that they work with, right, to increase their revenues, to achieve their goals, and to learn about the resources that are available that we have, and they're phenomenal resources on our network. And when I first came to this role that I'm in, and I was in real estate for a long time, I was dazzled by these women and their business acumen, and the fact that they all have experience in real estate and beyond, which is extremely impressive. So today our guests are the consultants, and I'm going to have each one of them tell you a little bit about the background. But I'm going to share an anecdote about each of them as our guests, as I introduce them by their, really by alphabetically, because I think it's really important that they're all just so special. So the first person I want to introduce is Kathleen Hunt. And Kathleen Hunt, she's the solutionist. And I met Kathleen for the first time when we attended VA Reps annual conference in Orlando, Florida. Do you remember that, Kathleen?
Yes,
And,
I do.
and it was amazing, right? It was with me and Nina, and I was so impressed with the connectivity that she had with our military agents, along with her fascinating background with the CIA, which I learned about, right? And her ability to come up with some great ideas and solutions for our business, because we spent a lot of time together. She is both respected and admired by her clients. And by the way, who better to consult, right, with real estate brokerages about recruiting than an individual who was recruited herself by the CIA? So watch what you say, right, everybody? And then Trisha Kobos. Trisha is the strategist. Trisha brings to her consultative role for Berkshire Hathaway Home Service the experience of a savvy industry veteran, along with the energy and optimism that you typically only find with somebody really just starting out their career. No consultant that I know puts their clients ahead of their own ego more than Trisha, a person who I consider a consulting treasure. Joanne Sloan, the global luxury guru. Joanne is widely respected and admired not only for her deep brokerage experience and expertise, but also the incomparable value she brings to brokerages in the all-important luxury market, even more than a luxury savant. I find that Joanne is consistently gracious, forever elegant, and the ultimate team player, and whose kindness and thoughtfulness elevates every aspect of the real estate she's involved in. Amanda Wernick, the collaborator. There you go. Amanda possesses a unique gift of being able to bring out the best in all the groups that she leads, as well as all the brokerages that she serves. Amanda is constantly positive and her energy is infectious. She is someone who I have had numerous opportunities to work with at NAREP conferences, right, Amanda? And I can tell you she has helped me personally, and I can see why she's deeply appreciated by all the companies she consults with. So before I get started with these wonderful women, I do want to do a shout out to Lynn Nestor and to Jane Lippman, who at the last minute had to change course because that's what they do, right? and not able to attend today. And another special shout out, right, all of us, to Shelly Thies. Shelly Thies is an icon in the industry, right? And she's done an incredible job with the Real Living Network, and she could not attend either. So let's get started and let's learn about the consultants. So first off, how did you get started in the business? And I'm going to start with you, Amanda, then Kathleen, Joanne, and Trisha. So if you can give us just how did you get started in real estate business? Because we all want to know.
Oh, thank you. Well, for me, it was buying a house. I was looking to buy a house. I was newly divorced, and the agent that I had hired would not listen to me. I had a Dalmatian at the time, and I said, I need 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a big backyard for my dog. And she kept showing me condos and high rises and homes with tiny little patches of grass. She just wasn't listening to me. And I thought, she's going to get paid good money to sell me a home, and she's not even listening to what I want. So I ended up actually, she had an assistant. And so I actually had conversations with her assistant. And her assistant is the one that helped find my house. And I thought, well, if she can do this, I can do this, because I actually listen to what other people are saying, and I'm involved in that conversation. So yeah, an agent that did not listen to me got me involved in real estate.
Well, and that you find that to be so true in a lot of the interviews that I do. Amanda, were you in real estate? I mean, what was your background before? What was your area of expertise?
I was in banking for a long time, and then I got married, and I was lucky enough to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. So I was a CEO, CFO
of your own business. I love it. I love it. Kathleen, how about you?
Well, as you alluded to, Teresa, in your opening, I was recruited out of college by the CIA, and I served 20 years undercover. And when I came back from my first overseas assignment, I, like Amanda, was about to purchase my first home. And I love the process. I loved everything about it. However, it created some problems for me in terms of retaining my cover for a lot of different reasons. But at the end of this home buying journey, I thought, this is so much fun, so great. I'm going to get licensed and help my colleagues who are also undercover navigate through the home buying process, so they don't have to worry about questions from different people potentially compromising their cover. So I got licensed, and I did that as a dual career agent for many years. And so I was not only a dual career agent, but I was the proverbial secret agent that people hear about. I was both at the same time, but it was a great way to get into this business. And certainly I think an example of maybe giving dual career agents a chance to succeed, because I never thought at the time that I would devote so many years to a real estate career, but it's been great.
Wow. And really it's so interesting, right? Really, truly a secret agent and the undercover. I think that's so fascinating and interesting. And I love the fact that you saw a need and you said, hey, I've got to serve, which is really what we're about in real estate, that need. Joanne, how about you?
These are great stories. I'm glad we're doing this. I just learned something about my colleagues. Well, I was laid off from Capital One Financial because of 9/11. There was a massive layoff. And so, I took my severance money and I said, let me buy a business. And I did due diligence and I evaluated a few businesses and I landed on real estate. And I really looked at real estate as a business right from the get-go. And I also operated it that way, and it paid off, as you know. And those were my humble beginnings.
Very smart and very savvy, because we all need to look at this business, right, as actually an investment in ourselves and also growth. And we need to be like a CEO, and look at what works and what doesn't, and financially lucrative. So what a great way to start. And Trisha, how about you?
Well, I was interested in real estate very early in my career, so I went out and I got licensed, but my career path didn't take me there yet. I had a background in hospitality, so I was a hotel general manager, and then I worked for a company called Hospitality Franchise Systems as a trainer in servicing. they were bought, or they later to become Sendent and Realogy. So when they began buying other companies in rental cars and real estate, they purchased a fairly large company that moved from California to New Jersey. And I moved over from hospitality into a real estate leadership position for that major brand. So that was the start of my career. And then later, I relicensed when my daughter became a teenager and she needed a private chauffeur. So I relicensed and I listed and sold real estate, and I became a manager and ran relocation, and then had the opportunity to come here today. So
well,
that
that's
was
very
my
evident too, Tricia, your background,
road.
because you are so good about hospitality and customer service. And that's really needed too when we're working with a lot of the consultants, with a lot of the businesses that we're working with. But also, I love the fact that you stated this really gave you an opportunity to, as a mom, right? Because we all have children, the flexibility, the capability that the career does allow you to have. You can set your own hours for the most part, right? And partner with other team members to help you offset any kind of need that you may have. So I think that's so interesting. Now, each of you have a very unique area of expertise, as I tagged you as we came, talked about, because I caught on that right away. I learned so much from our interactions. And, I think it's really interesting that that's the thing that makes this brand so phenomenal, is the capabilities that we as a team come together and are able to bring as a resource. So let's talk about that. Joanne, I know, my dear friend, that you are the global luxury guru. And, you have such a great capacity and capability, and you share that so willingly. You're one of only two people, right, that are licensed, from what I remember, to teach even the course. So tell us a little bit about that, because I'm so intrigued.
The Institute course. Right. Thank you, Teresa. Well, I stumbled into luxury. I worked my way up from a rookie of the year to the top 1% worldwide at the time, with a different brand, of course. And then the way I did that was to just continually enhance my knowledge. And during the time of the boom, you'll remember, I took the time to understand investment, real estate, and cash flow, and investment in real estate in terms of the larger portfolio. And I became very confident and competent in speaking that language. And that was my entry into the luxury world, because many of the buyers for these condominiums and investment homes at that time were people of wealth, and they really appreciated what I had to offer. And my first deal was, I just said to him, he said, what, is this a good investment? And I said, well, it's a negative cash flow. So if you need a tax write-off, this is for you. And he said, I'll take two. And I was off to the races from there. And then my referral business started to grow. So it really wasn't a luxurious setting that got me into the industry. It was more my knowledge and my confidence in working with the clientele that were already in that world.
And I think you touched on one thing that we all, know, and that's, do you speak my language? And I'm not talking about, Spanish, or it's the language of each set group, military. They're all unique cultures, communities that are really important. And I love that you have that. And I just have to add on too, because you don't just work with our Berkshire Hathaway Home Services brand, you also work with our Real Living Network in their global, in the RL luxury side too. And so kudos to you, Joanne, because I know you're really.
That's a really cool play on luxury. So
yeah,
definitely
right?
take a look at that. Yes.
Awesome. Kathleen, let's talk about you, because I just love the fact that you are the solutionist, and you always come up with solutions. You'll call me and say, Teresa, what do you think about this? I mean, it's amazing. But the fact that your niche, the CIA background, the fact that I think your husband's military too, that really has a connection point. And military is really important to us. And so tell me a little bit about that.
It is. We absolutely adore our active duty service members, our veterans, their families. And in my first overseas assignment, I actually was under military cover. So I was able to see for myself how the whole process works, from transitioning from one duty location to another, moving overseas, assimilating to a culture, all the pressures that a family has, that the service member have, et cetera. And as you mentioned, my husband was in the Navy, as was my younger brother. So I feel great affinity for the military. I love the military and their families. And so what I've focused on, along with others, is really looking at programs that we can implement that will serve this community, serve our active duty members, serve our veterans. And we've done a lot so far. We want to do more. And so I just see this as opening all kinds of doors. For example, when a family relocates and the spouse has either is taking care of the children or maybe the children are grown, and it's very tough to find a job that you might only have for 2 years, or maybe someone doesn't want to take a chance on you. But if they can get licensed, it's a career they can take with them. Yes, you may have to take the state law portion of the exam in your next location, but there's reciprocity amongst many states. So we're really looking at a way to make this easy for military members and their families to get into real estate, and really to make it a career path for them.
That is such a great idea, right? Because you can be licensed and then just transfer. And if we can kind of do a universal, hey, for our military families, let's create a program that allows them to really just transition into every state that they have, that they're sent to, that will really help out our business. And also, I still have my challenge coin. For those of you who are military, the challenge coins and how important they are.
And I also should mention, Teresa, that we've set up a 40% discount on their pre-licensing course through the CE shop. So they can go to one of our fabulous Berkshire Hathaway companies and get a 40% discount on their pre-licensing.
That's fabulous. I love it, right? It's great for anyone out there that is interested. Let us know. We'll get you connected. And just text me right here on this channel. Amanda, you're known as our collaborator, but you also are just a phenomenal trainer as well. And I think it's really important because, for me, the CIPS, I know Joanne teaches it as well because she taught me, she and Bob, but the CIPS course is really important. And that's part of our global, right? But not only that, you do a lot of great training on our resource center, really, because that is the key to the success of many of the newer agents out there that are brand new to the industry as well as to our brand. So talk a little bit more about that.
Well, training has always been a passion of mine, mainly because I've taken courses, and was very bored with the person that was at the front. And I have ADHD, self-diagnosed. So for me, it's very important for me to make sure that I'm engaged with my audience, that I'm speaking a language that my audience understands. And the tools and the resources that we have at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services are second to none. And so oftentimes when I do a training session with any of our brokers or our agents, it's showing them the tools that we have available, and not just how to use them, because that's always, click here, point here, etc. But why? Why should you be using this product? How is this going to help you in your real estate career? Work smarter, not harder. It's all about mindset as well. So I try to make it fun. I look to make it interesting, as well as having everybody get at least one thing out of all the things that we teach on. Yeah.
Well, and I remember when I was an agent, it was always the WIIFM station would send it for me, right? And so you said when you know the why, the how becomes easy. And so why is this tool important? Why do you need to know it? Why? Then it becomes easy, because that's your business. And if you can get one opportunity that you get from learning this, that's one sale, one sale a month and everything that you do. So I think that's fantastic. And Trisha, you are what I consider the strategist. I mean, your background is so impressive, working with corporations. You've led leadership roles, and you're really about the big picture and how a company can really advance in their special areas. And so talk a little bit more about that as well.
Well, I think that my background in servicing has, it's always been about service. It's always been about what can we do to help our customers, our clients, our agents, our brokers uh, get to where they're going, establishing their real estate goals and achieving them. And so I think that service um, desire is one that I really call on to be able to put myself in my customer's shoes, my client's shoes, and to understand what they need to be successful. So that's my mantra, and I've done that in terms of from a management standpoint, from a consultative standpoint, and just from a client standpoint when I was listing and selling real estate. So that's the mindset. What can we contribute to help them be better with us than without us?
And that's definitely the whole thought, right? Gino started it. For us to, you're going to be better than without us, right? We're going to take you and soar. So that's the whole goal, right, with the organization. One thing that I do want to talk about, because you kind of touched about it, right? What are you seeing out there? And I'm going to talk to Kathleen and Trisha about this, and then the next question I'll hit with Amanda and Joanne. But what are some of the biggest concerns, the biggest issues that you are seeing out with the clients that you are working with that we need to know? What's keeping them up at night? And don't say Netflix like Alan says all the time. That's good.
Yeah. From my perspective, there are industry-related challenges and then external challenges. So industry-related would be a lack of inventory. I mean, that's not really new, but it's reached a critical level at this point. And so even with all of the best efforts to try and get people to list their homes, we still have a real lack of inventory for the agents to go after, for buyers to buy. Good news is interest rates are still at historic lows. So that's a positive. So I would say that is a big industry challenge. We talk about it all the time. We strategize about ways to try to identify potential sellers or people who are thinking maybe 3 months out or so, they'll put their home on the market. And then in terms of external challenges, I would say COVID. Of course, we can't overstate the impact of COVID. But that said, all of our broker owners rose to the occasion. They immediately pivoted their businesses. They took all of the steps they needed to ensure the safety of their agents, of their staff, of themselves, put all those precautions into place, set up everything so agents could work remotely, which fortunately with .loop and all these other types of platforms that we've been using for a long, long time, it was fairly easy to transition. It was more a matter of getting agents kind of accustomed to not coming into the office. You miss that camaraderie and the one-on-one. But I think, again, in that case, they were very, very successful in pivoting. It hasn't overtaken them in any way. In fact, many of my broker owners in 2020 experienced their most profitable year ever, not just versus 2019, but ever. So there's always a silver lining in every challenge. And I think they all rose to the occasion and just were incredibly successful.
Well, thank you for sharing. I think that's great. How about you, Trish? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, definitely those external influences over the past year have been amazing. But to Kathleen's point is that the network has just done a phenomenal job to rise to the occasion, and in giving them an opportunity to look internally in the organization. I mean, the expenses. I've got so many brokers that are looking at the square footage that they are now paying rent on, and looking at that and saying, hey, how much space do we really need? How can we consolidate and still be able to operate but with less expenses, because the competition is coming after our agents every day, right? and we want to be able to provide the biggest value. And I think that is something that many of our brokerages are looking at right now, how to better describe their value proposition, not just to recruit agents, but to retain. We had a wonderful result with our recruiting rally this past year. And, at the end of the day, I think we've hired 14,000 agents network wide, but we have to look at the retention as well, because we want to keep our agents not just 2 years, 3 years, but we want them
For
to be
life,
our
right?
forever agents.
Agent. I love it. And one thing too, Trisha, that you talked about was retention. And that's not something that not everyone that we know in the industry has an issue with that. Even when I was NARP national president, we always had issues with retention. And I think sometimes we get in that mentality where we're like, okay, I got you now. And it's like, okay, now move on to the next, big thing. But I think really what we've done so well, and I know that Chris Stewart and Alan Dalton and our Gino Bafari, they really are about retention and focusing on that in 2021 in ways that we can enhance and how our brand can actually create agents that can certainly close the loyalty gap, as Chris just stated in the Inman Forum. So I can't wait till the conference, right? Because we're got some great announcements that's going to really help with all that, and especially with our agents and helping them get more business. So Amanda, we're going to shift and then we're going to go back to our conference. But
Okay.
As a woman and Joanne, because I know that we have, it's never shared, but the truth is that as a woman, we're kept up at a different level of standards. We have to look great. We have to, watch what we say. We have to be positive. There's all kind of, even we can't, drink, right? Like most of our male counterparts. And I'm just calling it out as it is. So Amanda or Jan, what challenges have you ever had as a woman in this role or in the role altogether? Because I think it's important to talk about that dialogue.
Well, for me, the biggest challenge has been looking at the role that we have as business consultants, that it's typically been seen as a man's role. Anything to do with finances, anything to do with, companies and interaction has typically been seen as a man's role. So here come these, 6 courageous women, and we're breaking the mold. We're breaking the standards. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and just show them what we can do.
Fantastic. How about you, Joanne?
Right. The challenge of being a woman in this role, not so much. And same with real estate in general. Real estate is so friendly to women. We just dominate. Yes, we just dominate the industry. But I will say that I remember my first corporate meeting in a boardroom, and the men stood up and they banged the table and they were screaming. And then, everybody went out and had drinks afterwards. And I thought, that looks like fun. We can't do that. We just can't do that. I can't stand up and bang on the table and, and then slap somebody on the back and carry on as usual. So there's still that little adjustment that needs to be made in the world in general of accepting women that way.
And assertiveness, right? And confidence.
Right. I know.
Considered as
there are other words associated with that.
Exactly,
yes.
right? So I really like that you shared that, because I think, all of you out there watching, we face the same issues, and we know that you do too. So just know that it's just a matter of continuing on with the fight and also your confidence. And we're here to help you and support you. One of the things that I'm super excited about is the fact that we just announced, and Chris Stewart made the announcement just this past week, about the conference being complimentary. And so I think that's a first, right, for us, that we will be sharing everything, our general sessions, with all of those who are interested in learning more about our organization and our brand. So tell me, anybody, just raise your hand. What do you think about that? How's that going to help in our efforts? And how can we engage more of our network, all the other people that are looking to get involved with our offering? Amanda, go ahead.
Yeah, I thank you. I think it is phenomenal. I think it opens up the door for agents that have not been able to attend a convention in the past, either for financial reasons or maybe they've got family that they need to take care of, just have not been able to attend convention, even though many want to go. So opening the door for everybody to be able to have access and see all of the tools that are available, going into the general session, being inspired by the motivational speakers that we have. I think it's opening the door for them to be a part of the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services culture all at one time. And I think that we've opened the door to being able to do this again in the future. So I think we're setting the standard. So, obviously when all of this COVID stuff is said and done, we want to be belly to belly again. But I think that this is the technology that we're going to be using is going to be something that's going to afford for us to be able to do this again virtually and have all of us in one space.
That's so true, right? Anyone else?
Yeah, well, I think that one of the top reasons why people go to convention is for the networking and to get a sense of, to Amanda's point, the culture, but also, the universe that we have out there. The network is huge, and there's just so much opportunity there and hopefully this will allow people to see people from other parts of the world, right in front of them, and to know that it's really only a touch away. You can reach out to these people, you can talk to people in Dubai or Portugal or California or Florida, and there are real people at the other end of the phone, the computer, and I think that's a really exciting opportunity for only 10%, 8% of our people have attended convention in any given year. So now it's open to everyone. And that's fabulous.
Joanne or Catherine? Kathleen, any other comments?
I think it's, go ahead, Joanne.
No, go ahead.
I just say, be sure you attend. Those of you who are with us and those of you who have been invited, you are not with us yet. Just see what we're all about. You are going to love us.
And Kathleen, you were going to say something.
Well, one extra bonus is that all of the content, all of the sessions are going to be available for 30 days after convention. So that's another great benefit, because even when you go in person and enjoy every moment, you can't get to everything. This way you have a month after convention to really drill down and attend all of these sessions you wouldn't be able to in person. So it's a huge win for everybody. It's very exciting.
And I will tell you that for me, when I attended, first of all, everyone, and from as a realtor perspective, we attend our own conferences, right? Each of you have phenomenal events that that your franchise own, right? That they hold. They'll have awards. But until I actually went to a national conference, I didn't realize my universe was so big. It was like it really literally for me, it was a life-altering, changing moment. And I say that because I realized then, number one, there were other agents like me in other countries and other places. I can be sending referrals. I'm learning about how to do it. I'm learning about how to work global luxury. I would have never thought I could do that. How to work with different cultures. The motivational speakers are amazing. They're inspiring. The Sunshine Kids that we give to makes you cry. It's a moment. We also have a lot of fun together, right? Because a lot of times we don't see each other except maybe that one time of the year, and you will make friends for life. This is an open door, the first chance that you'll have to come and check us out. So I can't wait for people to do so. Text me, put your name in there if you want an invitation. We'd love for you to participate. So we are rounding out. It's unbelievable, right? That our time is passing away. But I do want to ask just two more questions. And the first one is, as you look at your career, what are you most proud of? It can be on your personal life, your, business. What are you most proud of? And Kathleen, I'll start with you.
Say from a business perspective, I'm most proud of how I've been able to help people achieve their goals. Whether, I've served as a sales associate, listing and selling properties, to a managing broker, and I've also been a regional director. And in each of those roles, I really look to help others achieve their goals, whatever they happen to be. So whether it's an agent who wants to become a top producer, or in my current role, a broker owner who wants to raise their company's productivity and profitability level, there's nothing more rewarding in my estimation to help others achieve their goals, but also have a balanced life. We know that real estate can be all consuming and very demanding. And I always work with a focus on keeping a balanced life, keeping your family, your faith, and all the other elements of your life that are important to you in balance while achieving your goals. So that's, you can't put a price tag on that from my perspective. I just love that.
Well, that's beautiful. Trisha?
Well, Kathleen, you took my answer. No, I have been incredibly fortunate throughout my entire career to have some incredible mentors that have taken the time to teach me, to work with me, to guide me, and to, just give me the foresight and the mindset to be able to do the right thing for those that we serve. And, whether it's whatever I'm doing in a course of a day, I still go back to and say, well, how would Beverly handle this? Or how would Barbara handle this? And so I look to those mentors. They don't even know that I'm still thinking of them, but I do. And I've been able to take that and offer that up to those that I work with and for. So that's what I would say.
So touching, right? Joanne, how about you?
Well, I like to leave any place better than it was when I got there. I just look at life that way. A relationship, a job, that's my career, that's my life. And I think of Jack Nicholson when he was picking up his Oscar, and they're like, he says, "Hey, you haven't seen nothing yet," and that's just the way I see it.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Amanda?
How do you follow Jack Nicholson? I don't, I don't know. So what am I proud of? I'm proud of the relationships that I'm able to build, the reciprocity that I have with everybody on my team, in the company, the brokers that I work with, and developing those friendships. That makes me very proud to know that we're connected in a way that we probably wouldn't have been in the past is important to me. So I'm proud of those relationships.
You're going to make me cry.
I know, I'm not proud of myself.
It's una familia. We're all a family, and it's so true, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are very connected, and I think that's the beauty of what all of you do. As we do our last comments, I want to ask you any words of wisdom, books, or advice, or quotes that you want to share with our audience. And I'm going to start with you, Amanda, first, and then do the opposite.
Okay. My favorite quote, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know where I heard it. I just know that when I first got started in real estate, I jumped out of an airplane because I figured if I can jump out of an airplane, I can sell a house. So to me, in real estate, no matter where you're at, if you're just starting out or you've got a team or you're a luxury expert, there are things that scare us. So feel the fear and do it anyway.
Oh, goodness. I didn't know you were an adventurer. That's awesome. I love it. Joanne, how about you?
Oh my gosh, I didn't know you jumped out of a plane.
I have a video to put it.
I forgot one, but I don't know that I jump out of one.
Yeah.
My favorite quote of all time: "It's all fun and games until the jeans don't fit."
Very, very wise. Very, very wise. I love it. How about you, Trisha?
Well, I think about when I went into a leadership role with a largely male-dominated group, and I turned to this book, The 7 Secrets in Successful Women, and read that book, and I said, you know what, this is spot on. But then I started thinking about it as well, and I started handing it out to gentlemen friends that were trying to grow in their careers. So it's applicable to everyone.
Oh, thank you for sharing. We'll put that name on the book in our Facebook comments as well. If you don't mind sending it to me, just because I'll, all right, Kathleen, and not in person. I meant like just put me. So I said that to somebody and they actually sent me the book. So that's not. So Kathleen, how about you?
I would say today I just want to share a quote, and that would be from the author Thomas Mann, who said, "Laughter is a sunbeam of the soul." And the reason I chose that now is because we've been through an incredible year. 2020 was historic on so many levels. And I think one of the downsides to what we've been through is that people stop laughing as much. People stop seeing the joy that we have. I mean, people in history have been through a lot worse than what we've been through, right? With much less at their disposal to cope. So I think I'd love to just remind everybody to laugh and to make other people laugh, more importantly, to look at the bright side, to look at all the positivity around you and focus on that and not on what divides us, but what brings us together as, members of the human race and wanting to uplift each other and encourage each other. I think that's what I really hope 2021 will be about.
Oh, right. What a beautiful way to end this wonderful, wonderful show with all of you. And I just can't believe our time is over. So thank you all for spending time with me. It was so special. And I know all of our audiences, right, can see what experience you bring, the wealth of knowledge. That is a huge asset to us, to our franchises, to our network agents, to all of us. So thank you so much. I think as I end, there's an African proverb that I love, and I think it really rings true. And it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And your ability to work as a team and to combine your strength to bring out the best in each person that you touch is what has made us all go so far. So again, I really do love that we had this time together, and thank you. All of you out there, please make sure to comment, like our page, join our YouTube channel, and join me on January 20th, 2 weeks from today, when we're going to do another event during our Women Crush Wednesdays right here on this channel. And we're going to zoom in on the movers and shakers with the women who move the world in the relocation business, right? At Berkshire Hathaway and Real Living. So we've got our guests will be Kathy Connolly, Kathy Kuhn, and Connie Polson. They're all icons in the business. So thank you all for watching the show. And please remember always to bring other women up as you climb up the ladder to the top. Thanks again.
Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So proud
Teresa.
of you.
Oh, thank you guys. See you guys all in 2 weeks, everybody. Bye-bye.